says I'm live. Come on. Is it working? Is it working? It looks like it's working. Oh, fuck. Gotta fix this. But yes. Yay! And I posted yay. Thank you guys for bearing with me. I don't know what in the hell is happening or why it takes. I should probably just see if I should just restart every time I'm about to do a live to see if that's going to fix the garbage, but I don't know. All right. I'll let people kind of filter on in here. So I thought today I would do, you know, it's fun to play with names because names belong to us, for one. And for two, during the holiday season, often you're putting people's names on gifts. And, you know, it's nice to be able to make them look kind of fancy. So that's one way to do it. Anyway, I thought I would do some different styles of names for people, like not just brush lettering or not just bubble lettering or whatnot, but maybe a combination of the both. We'll see what I can fit in. Now, I have a hearty list of names of people who asked me to do names earlier but couldn't be here. So I'm going to have those as well, but I'm also going to work with people who are actually here in the comments. And I am checking to make sure that this link is working for everybody. Let's see here. All right. So I think I am just going to get started. And as you guys come in, you can put the name that you want, or names. You can have more than one. I'm going to be using probably these Zig brushables because the... Hi, Deb. Hi, Alyssa. Hi, Kristen. For the love of crayon. You're Amity, right? Every time, I swear to God. These Zig brushables, because I like the nib a little bit better than the Tombow in terms of size. Yeah, buddy. Jada. Motherfucker. I know Amity's is also different, though. Okay, cool. And I got the Papermate Flare. So those are what I'm going to be working on. You don't have to curse me with the K, Lakina. I can do that, too. Okay, so we will start, and Sarah's in here too. Other Deb, please. Okay. So, you hate your K? Well, I've been experimenting, not like perfectly, but I've been getting some. So I'm going to start with some of you that are in here, and then I will do some of the list, and then I will switch back. Kristen's going to curse me with her K, so there's going to be a K curse. So we will start with Deb. You want me to put other Deb, right? All one word, lowercase. Is that what you want for sure? And while I'm waiting for your response, I will get Jada. All right, hold on. I'm scrolling and I'm scrolling in a weird way. All right. Okay, so Deb, I'll start with you, and I'm all lowercase. So we'll start with, I'm not gonna be super warmed up here. I have not actually warmed up. Let's see. So, and I'm not a flourisher. Let's just remember that. Cindy is not a flourisher. Now notice again, I'm picking up my pen off of the paper. Now, if you want to, you can go in and add that and just go in and color it in like it was always there. See how I kind of faked it? The E came out super janky, but whatever. I'm warming up. Sorry for coughing. Okay, other Deb. That's one way to do it if you were going to brush letter it. And then if you wanted to bubble letter it with lowercase bubble letters, I like putting the letters at kind of an angle. I don't like to have them all necessarily be perfectly face forward. I kind of like the jumbled up look that you get doing it this way. And you can always cover up your blunders by drop shadowing. I'm not going to drop shadow everything now because that's just going to take up a lot of extra time and I got a lot of names to get through. But if you screw up, you can always use drop shadows to kind of massage that. Okay, let me see who else is in here. Trish, you're not late. Remember, YouTube fucked up again, so it took me a few minutes to even get started. All right, Jada. Okay, so we'll get Lakina first. We'll do Ariana. That's a beautiful name. All right. Now, I used to prefer using like an uppercase A looking like just a big lowercase a, but I've lately been really enjoying this for a uppercase A. Like, I just like how that looks. I think it's really pretty. Again, you see how I'm kind of lifting my pen, making sure I'm spelling this right, 2 N's. How I'm lifting my pen in between letters. It's because it helps you stay in control. I'll put a little heart. There you go. Ariana. And for that one, for doing like I would actually, instead of bubble letters for this one, I would do this style. Single, but do it like this. Again, using the jumbled up situation. You see how I'm kind of tilting them in opposite directions? I just think it makes it look kind of neat, you know? And then you can always go in and color those in. You can add stripes. You can, you know, like however you want to dress it up. There are all sorts of fun ways too. Okay, Jada Kim Kona. What is Kim Kona? Is that your middle name or is that your, because I know you're, like, is that a, I don't know what kind of name that is, Jada. I'm curious. So Jada. That's the K I've been working on lately. PS. Still not sure how I feel about it. Am I going to run out of space? Oh, shit. Okay, well, you get Kim Cone, but it would go into the same A. I ran out of room. Hold on. I got this. Watch this. There you go. There's your name. Oh, I wasn't paying attention. Okay. Seeing people pop on in. I am not doing that entire name, Jada. Okay, Kristen, I'll get yours now. Let me grab a different pen. I'll do pink for Kristen. Oh, Jada, for you, I'm not going to do the whole long name, but just for your first name. I love the shit out of my uppercase bubble letter J's. I just love how they look. And actually, I like all the letters in your first name here. The J, the A, the D, the D. I actually love all of these letters. I think they really, that kind of big poofiness to me really looks gorgeous with those letters. Okay, Kristen, let's see here. Kristen. There you go. Just a joke. Now, for you, Kristen, or for Lakina, for anybody using a capital K, one that I really have been enjoying lately is adding that little bit of twirliness to it. That is the... I will get those, Elizabeth. Yay, I'm glad you found it. I love this K. I think this K is so pretty. I feel like the problem I run into is when I'm doing any sort of thickening to these two sections right here. Like this is fine. Anytime I try to add thickness to either of those, I always get into hot water. But this look I think is really pretty. And you could also alter it for the lowercase k, like yay, like hyun. See what I'm saying? And it just makes it look kind of cool. So I guess maybe, and like the same when I'm doing like cursive, I used to do it like this, and I don't know, it doesn't look the way I like it. But if you do it like that, I don't know, it just feels better. I'm not sure. It's this motherfucker right here that is the awkwardness in K's, I feel like. You know? Okay, Elizabeth, let me grab your kids here. They're really beautiful names, by the way. And since I wrote them down earlier, I have them in front of me so I don't misspell them. I'm switching from pen to pen so I don't like overly destroy any of my my nibs. I think both of these names are going to be absolutely stunning in brush lettering. Now for these L's, trying to make them look, you know, nice next to each other, you want to kind of buffer them so that they're not going into each other. You could probably just do, I don't know, like one. Bella is also pronounced as a Y. Bea, Anna Bea. Oh, I see what you're saying. And then... Now, whenever I do E's, I always have to go back in and kind of clean them up because I'm never good at getting that particular curve. And there's the other one. Now, again, you could, I would say with both of these, because they are long names, kind of doing them the same way I did Ariana, I think would be really pretty, especially if you put it all lowercase like this. And then if you're doing them like this, like I said with Ariana, you can go back and fill them in with whatever colors you want or whatever stripes you want. You can customize it with like the colors your daughter likes, you know, or the patterns, polka dots, stripes, wavy lines, zebra lines, whatever. Like, I love longer names like this because the bigger the letters are, the harder they are to fit into anything, and it gets really obnoxious. So, same with Emily. You do them like this, and you have a lot of customizable options. spell that right? I think I spelled that right. Lakina, that's awesome. Regal is very good for that. Hi, Laura. Okay. Now I'm going to grab a couple of names off of the list, and then I'll take some more from you guys. Let's see here. My random A from Jada's name still sitting over here. Okay, so Catherine asked for her kids' names. So I'll start with, grab some more. We'll grab some blues to start with. We'll go with Vincent. Fun fact, V's also sometimes stress me out, but it's because I just tend to struggle with that like initial sort of little pull down. Now, I'm going to do for this one, instead of making it bouncy, I'm actually going to do it as straight on as I can. It creates a, oh, there's the heater. Sorry about that. It creates a very different effect when you letter it straight instead of adding the bounce to it. It looks a lot more like, not business-like, that's not really a good word for it, but I don't know, like less whimsical, a little bit more straightforward. So I'll take Noah and I'll do it like in the whimsical sense, which is a little harder because it's a shorter name. And you see it just has sort of a different effect to it. Now with Vincent, I would actually almost go with a serif style. And I think it's because with the I and the T and the N, they all have those nice like feet on them. And I love the look of the ends with this and with the T. Like, I just think that that looks super suave. Yes, I will do Rebecca for you, Kristen. And then for Noah, I would actually, because Noah's a short name, I actually prefer, let me know if the heater is causing problems for you in hearing. It's a little loud and I could get up and go turn it off. It probably would take forever to turn off though. Because Noah is a short name like Jada, I think it looks really awesome in bubble letters. The longer a name is, the less I like to bubble letter it, just because it takes up so much goddamn space. Yes, that's one of the things I love about using, Kristen said about how she likes how things kind of fit together. The serif font is really fun for that because it kind of creates sort of sections that you can kind of play with. All right, let me grab another color. I'll grab green because that's my jam. The other one she got is Olivia, and actually Danielle asked for Olivia too. So here is Olivia. Olivia, I'm gonna fatten that up just a bit. Olivia. Now here is what you'll notice, and I almost lost it, is when you go from the V to the I, that's really easy to lose. See this little like bridge here that I created when you're going from a V to an I? It's important to preserve that because otherwise it just makes your letter look like soup. And then Olivia is another one that would make really pretty bubble lettering, but it would also look really nice with like block lettering where they're not so poofy if you angled them a little bit like this. And I think it's because there are so many straight lines in this name between the L, the I's, and the V. It just makes a cool kind of, didn't do my best job on that, but you can see how that kind of looks neat with like the different lines. Oh, there's Danielle. Okay, so Olivia, Danielle, I'll finish your names up really quick since you're here. You wanted your name first, and so I'll do that. Let me grab the green I wasn't on. You have two ends. I have to remember you have two ends. Now, two ends in a row tends to, whenever there's a repeating letter, people tend to struggle with that. So since I'm doing two ends, I like that uppercase D. That's probably, I like the D. Spelling this right. Staring at it. Where'd it go? I lost it. There it is. Now you see how I just sort of repeated them, but they're slightly lower, like they're slightly off of each other, and one is kind of straight up and one's kind of angled. You do that, it kind of breaks up the monotony of two separate letters. I mean, of two of the same letter. And then we have two L's coming up here. When I have two L's in a row, it gets a little bit, doing this like with Annabella you can do, but it can turn out looking really messy if you're not careful. So the other way to handle it is to do the kind of the E style of L, like this. I'm gonna fatten you up just a little bit more. But see how I was able to kind of alter them just enough to make them look like separate letters as opposed to repeating mush? Yes, we can get Taryn up in here. Okay, let me get Danielle's other two kids really quick. I'm grabbing some more pens. I'm like rotating through. I'm going to use brown. Your kids are going to have the brown pen. So Josh. I kind of kept that a little bit straight on because but with like kind of like splayed out like this because I like the look of that. And for Gavin, I generally, when I do uppercase G's in cursive, I generally make them like this. Like I make them like a standard G because I do not like the look of uppercase G in cursive. But that's just dependent on what your preference is. Now I'm going to do that V. See there? I did the same little bridge for the I that I did in Olivia. This right here, that's what you got to be careful with. SH is your problem. We'll look at that in a second, Ashley. Where we get Taryn is what we got next. And actually, Kristen asked for Rebecca, and then let me grab... You spell it with a... I lost it, Kristen. You spell it with a K, right? While I'm waiting for Kristen to respond to that, I will do Taryn really quick. Taryn has two R's. Two R's is another one that can be a bit of a struggle. So I'm going to do it in two different styles. Now I'm bringing it down. Now I'm bringing it back up. It's a little sloppy, but you can kind of see where I was going with this. That's one way to do it, where again, you just sort of make the two same letters kind of like mushed up against each other so that they don't look like monotonous. Now, one of the things this could be really awesome with, though, is this style. Here's one R. Now bring the other one underneath like that and make it a little bit smaller. And see how kind of cool that can look right there? I love putting two R's against each other like that just because I feel like it looks kind of wacky and awesome. And then, let me get your daughter's name, Ashley. Brinley. Got some gray up in this business. Now, I actually think Brinley would look really pretty with a lowercase b. Like this. Now I'm not going to do the swoopy L because I didn't do that with the B. So instead, I'm going to do this. You see how that looks? Did I spell that right? Yes. I kind of like looped the... Now, if you wanted to do it like this... You can do it that way too. But I actually really like how simple it looks with the B and the L like straight up and down. Okay, Kristen, I'm going to get Rebecca and Becca in here. My sister's name is Rebecca, but she doesn't spell it that way, so I got to remember to... See, now with the R, it can be the same problem as the K. And that's all crunched in there. But same kind of concept, not going too ham with the weird flourishes up on the top. That because it keeps it from looking too cluttered. And with this many stems, the R, the B, and the K, if you add too many flourishes in there, it can start to look really muddy. You know? Another way you can do it is you can just go with a lowercase. Like that. And just go in with a lowercase r. It's one way to avoid it. Now, if you were going to do an uppercase B for Becca, it's another way you can go about it. Okay, let me grab some more from the list. Who did I get so far? I got Catherine's kids. I got Elizabeth. I got Ashley. I got Danielle. People who all popped in here except for Catherine. All right, I'm going to try Sandra out because it goes from an S to an A, which sometimes can stress people out. So Sandra, this has, and again, when you see other people's names, even if it's not a name you're used to, you can look at how the letters get put together for other names or words that you're struggling with. So I love to do for uppercase S's. I like to just make a giant fucking situation like this because I love the look of that. I think it's so pretty. And then, because you kind of dropped it down, it gives you a little bit of room to add a lowercase letter in without doing it lined up at the bottom. And now you have it like this, but see that there's no wacky flourishes. You could decide to go and add one. Just fake it like you did it. See? I just faked it. But notice that there's only the one, so that if you did like 4 of them, it would look a lot more sloppy than if you just did one. Sound of my marker. Now for Julia, I've done this J a few times, and I like the look of that, but you can also make the bottom part a lot bigger like that, which is also really pretty. And see, Julia is such a simple name. I really like it. It's one of my favorites to letter just because it is so pretty. And you can do the same thing that I did with that K. For the uppercase J to bring in when you're working on it. And that add that little curly can just make it look so fancy. Marker ASMR. Yeah, buddy. Now I'm going to do Aaron, and Aaron is one that I struggle with sometimes, again, because of the uppercase E. It just seems to be something that I have an issue with. Now, you know, I could go the easy way out. I just went light-handed there. I could do that. That's the easy way out. I could do one of my favorite things to do, which is combine print, like, you know, printing style letters with cursive, which I actually kind of like the look of that. And another thing you can do, and this is something you can do with any sort of style, is mix them up. Like that. Mix up printing and cursive. That can be fun, depending on what your mood is. But the other thing that I can do with an E is just suffer through the uppercase E. Like that. That's some marker ASMR for you. And that's another way to do it. It just depends on what you're willing to suffer for. And uppercase E in block letters, if I can't stand it in cursive, I love that kind of an uppercase E. This gives me so much satisfaction. I have no idea why. It has been, maybe it was because I struggled really hard with it when I was first originally figuring bubble lettering out, was I struggled how to make my E's not look awkward as fuck. And once I got it, I was like, woohoo! That could very well be it. But like it is, it's a short name. So short names tend to come out really well with bubble lettering. The protrusion where the E comes, the center part comes out. Yeah, because I've done them different ways. I've done uppercase bubble letter E's like this. And I used to really like that, but then it started to look like a weird, like, I don't know, like a fetus or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just didn't like the look of that. And so, like, here, I'm going to zoom in so you can see my little fetus there. Like, I just don't like how that came out. So, but doing the really, like, exaggerated middle part, to me, just looks super cool. If you turn it this way, it looks like you're getting flipped off, but we're not going to worry about that. And then the last two I have on my list of people who weren't going to make it were Isabel and Krista, both of which are beautiful names that actually present a little bit of a struggle for me. So I'm going to use orange to stand for struggle. So Krista, let me zoom back out. So Krista, and this is someone who has an uppercase C in her name. It took me forever to discover, I don't know why it took me so long to discover this kind of uppercase C. It almost could be an E or an L, but why is my orange pen running out? What in the hell? See, now that could look like Iresta if you're looking at it the wrong way. I did not do Ashley yet, Ashley. I will do that right now. I don't know why my orange pen is wearing out, though, and that's making me sad. It's probably my least used color. But the other way you can do C is like this. This is the way I always used to do it. If I'm not careful, though, when I write my name fast, it looks like Andy. So I try to avoid Andying my name. But anyway, let me move over since I don't know why my pen is being such a fucker right now. Okay. Let me do Ashley really quick, and then Danielle, I will get to that after I get Isabel's name. Ashley. Now, like I was saying before, this is the new A that I have a hard on for. I just really like it. I think it's so pretty. Now, see, here you go. Remember what I was saying about having too many flourishes, looking kind of sloppy? Like, that's one way. Like, that is really pretty, but it's also can be a little sloppy. So the other way you can do it is like this. Same exact thing. But not adding the flourishes. Why is this? Can I zoom back? There we go. Okay. See the difference between the two? It's a personal preference thing. Like, you could decide if you wanted to do this A. You know? It just depends on what you like. Me personally, if I was going to pick, I think I would prefer this one because the two in a row just look a little bit messy to me. But that's personal preference. All right. Oh my God. Or you can decide to do just one or the other, you know? Okay. Let me get Isabel's name and then I will get Charissa. Let me switch over. What did I do? What was my first color I used? Green. Let's go to my greens. Okay. Isabel. Now, I don't do any weird fanciness when it comes to uppercase I's for cursive. I just go like this. I. Or I might even add like those bits, like the top and the bottom. You can do it this way. And I've done that before as well. I don't know. I get really like, I'm very much a less is more when it comes to my capital letters in my personal ideas. One way that I've been experimenting with, though, to have more fun with an I in general is to do it lowercase, but to make it fancier than the rest. You could do something like this. It looks like an L, right? But you could add a dot to the top. And that's one way you could do it, you know, if you wanted to get like super fancy schmancy. Or you could do my tried and true method when I don't like the uppercase letters is just to stay lowercase like this. You know, it just depends on what you like. Now, Charissa. Let's see here. Now, with Charissa, the H is the only one that could have a super wacky flourish. So I'm doing the C, and I'm going to beef it up a little bit, because why not? I'm taking everything a little bit more exaggerated with this. And notice I'm correcting my mistakes. And it's because I decided to go with these S's, but I'm not great at making this downstroke on the first try. And part of the reason I over-exaggerated this was because Charissa with the H can easily be misinterpreted as Clarissa if you're not like exaggerating things a little bit more. Okay, let's see what else I've got here. Hi. Okay, some nephew names. Malachi and Maddox. Oh, there's an X in there. I don't have any more time. Okay. I'll do them. I'll take a few more and then it's going to be time to end this because this took a little bit longer than anticipated because I have to, because of YouTube being a shithead. So you made it, Kristen. I just did your name. Right. Where'd it go? I lost it. Right here was where I did your name with this special fancy C. Okay. I'll do it again, Krista, in a second. Malachi and Maddox. I love uppercase M in cursive. Well, not the official uppercase M, but the one that I do. I just love the look of that. I think it's so cool. Did I spell this right? Nah, I did it right. Yeah, buddy. See, I took the super stylized look for this one because of the way with the M, the L, and the K. I just think, and I kind of slanted everything just a little bit, and I think it looks kind of neat that way. For Maddox, I would be a little bit more round. But see how you can kind of have them looking kind of suave like that? Now, Krista, I'm going to do yours again, but I'm going to do it. Let's see if I can. I'm going to start over again. Like I was telling them, I beef up the C. Because you have such a name with a T and everything, you can add that extra little bit of a swoop and have it look kind of neat without adding too much wackiness. Ashley, hold on, going up. Okay, Jeba. I don't know how to pronounce that. Jeba. Okay, the light's starting to come in wacky, so we are going to have to end this shortly. So let me get through these last few names here. Come back into blue. Now I'm going to use the bigger J this time around. Now see how I kind of curved these in just a little bit? It's because it just makes it look kind of sexy. All right. Tawanda. Here we go. This one should be interesting because of the Y and the W. This is Trish, I do love you. Okay. Now see how this is the W, right? To get it into the A, do that same little bridge like I was talking about from the V to the I, and then pull your pen off the paper and draw the A just right over it. You can see the overlap there, but nobody cares about that. See? I know this is hard to see because the lighting is getting all wacky because it's coming in from the door, but I hope that you can see a little bit more of kind of how I did that, Trish. Okay. Did I miss anyone else? Scrolling. I forgot an H and J. Oh, I did. Damn it. Okay, let me get it again. That's the first time I screwed up spelling a name, though, so yay me. Let's try this again. There we go. Now see, this is most definitely one that I would recommend that you don't do all the extra flourishes on because of 1, 2, 3, 4 letters all here could potentially have flourishes and it would just look all like, so like my, okay. So I think I got all the names. Now Lakina asked if I have any bounce lettering tips. Now, if you'll notice looking at these last 3 that I did, especially these 2 right here, Tawanda and the one that I spelled right, I'm not bouncing very much. What I am doing is every time I'm starting a new letter, I'm going to use Tawanda again as an example. Every time I am starting a new letter, so there's a T, I just made a T. Now for the Y, instead of making the Y at the same angle, I'm twisting just a little bit more, like that, right? Now for the W, I'm twisting back and I'm starting it a little bit lower. You see I'm sort of twisting back and forth and also slightly changing the angle. Very subtly, but you can notice it. Does that make sense? Kind of not just going up and down, but also kind of twisting just a little bit in either direction. And going up and down adds just a little tiny bit of variation, enough to make it look kind of nice instead of going, because you could also do it this way, like, you know what I mean? I'm being sloppy as fuck, but like you can see what I mean about like that style of bouncing. You don't want to do that necessarily. You want to keep it kind of more together, at least at first, because it takes a lot of practice to stay really on target when the more obvious your bounces are, if you see what I'm saying. You want to just slightly alter it every single time. Very, very little. And then you can do it more as time goes on. But you can see the difference in this one versus, or see like here, Brinley. I did it the same way, kind of slightly more up and down and slightly twisted, but not very much. But then you look at Vincent right here where I kept it perfectly kind of level. You see the difference. It's not like, look at Vincent versus like Jebba. You know, see how it's just slightly different? That's what you want to start with. It's a lot easier if you start there. Okay, I'm going to stop right now because I'm going to stop right now because the light is getting really wacky and I need to get on another call. But thank you guys so much for everything. And I'm so glad that Patreon pulled its head out of its ass and figured this shit out. I will talk to you soon. I'll probably go live in the Facebook group sometime over the next day or two to kind of talk through what all's been going on with Patreon. But until then, hasta la vista, you guys. See ya.